For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour 2. Let's start off with this real quick before we get into the PFF stuff. Tim, you were kind of hitting just now. No, actually, it might have been Amelia, whoever it was. You were kind of talking about how to cover Trey McBride, this and that. One of the big talking points this year, and Matt LaFleur got on the media about this a little bit. Every year they try to find something to grab a hold of and attach to, right? Like, well, why is this happening, right? You know what I'm saying? It's always something. It's, well, why aren't you getting pressures? Okay, if you start to get pressures, well, how come you were giving up so many points in the first quarter or the second half or what have you, right? So Rob Demovsky tweeted out, defense coordinator Jeff Hafley joked that everyone wrote about their fourth quarter issues, so there must not be any questions, right? So he kind of took a little dig at him. You know, the big talk is, and you guys had people asking us the other day as well on the show, what's up with the second half defense? And you know what my my explanation was, it's real simple. You're playing with a lead, and now the clock's your opponent. That's why they're able to move the ball on you in the second half. They're just having to dink and dunk and eat up clock, and the goal is to win the ball game, right? That's what I seen on tape. That's what I seen in those situational aspects of the game. So Coach Hafley says, quote, "We'll work through it. To me, the goal is to play a complete football game." Does that not sound like what we talked about, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we were having the same conversation, meaning the media was digging us about the second quarter. It makes you think.
Well, it makes some people think. Some of you guys are just never going to think, but we understand what Coach Half is saying there, right? Now we're talking about the second half. We're talking about the fourth quarter. So that's progress year to year for sure. At least that's how I take it.
Yeah, the way he walked into that press conference was, everybody's already got their stories written. You guys are just looking for a couple spots, right? Just a couple of fill-ins. And he was handing it to him this press conference, man. He got after him a couple times. But you're right. I mean, it's just like Rich, and how you don't talk about the special teams blocking unless you get a field goal block, and you don't talk about the defensive issues unless they're doing it. And it's like, what, the fourth quarter? He literally came in there knowing that basically every point they were going to bring up. He goes, "Oh, what, you're going to talk about, turnovers next? Oh, I should have been ready on that one. I already had the answer." Like, and it's just, it's crazy because, but he said, it does get me to think about how I want to answer that and how we could maybe approach that. And I think that you just got to look at it game by game and just get after it, the best way you can.
Yep. And LaFleur, Jacob, he had a similar answer to this question when listening to his presser. And it's just kind of like, it's not as simple as here's what's wrong. What's the down and distance on the play that you're talking about, right? What's the situation? What concepts does that team run heavy, right? Are they a run heavy team or are they a pass heavy team? Are they a more 12 to 21 personnel or 11 personnel? Do they run a gap scheme or do they run a flow scheme? Like, what? There's so many questions that come into. It's not just as simple as you guys have struggled in the fourth quarter, and we want to know why.
Yeah, I agree. And much like we watched the progression of All Shucks Matt to two-pack Matt LaFleur, I think we're seeing a little bit of a transition of Jeff Hafley. When we came on the scene, we talked about it multiple times. I was like, man, this guy is so generous in interviews, and he actually takes time and to answer each question like methodically and very like intently, and really gives them like rounded out answers that don't sound like fluff and BS and all this. And if you keep poking that man, you keep prodding the bear, and if you keep kind of, making comments that are a little bit backhanded and snide, all of a sudden you're going to unleash a little bit of a, I don't know, Tim. We might have to come up with the new. What would Jeff Hafley?
You're going to unleash this Jeff Hafley.
Get over here!
Built to ass. BTA. Know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying there, bro. Exactly. And I love to see it too. And, I don't want this man to sit up there and get, like I said, basically, I hate the way that sometimes the media, I don't think there's anybody in specific, but every now and then you listen to a question and that wasn't a question, that was a comment, or that was you trying to kind of get yourself a little blurb somewhere or get, a quote here or there. And I think that you can see that Matt and Jeff are just looking at each other like, I'm done with this. We're halfway through the season almost. Nice guy faces coming off, and I'm going to start.
Sit your butt outside.
Yeah.
Exactly. Amelia, what do you think? You got anything to add to that? We kind of talked about it a little bit during Chalk Talk, right? Second, it depends on how the game's going, right? It really does. And why did we have a better second half defense last year as opposed to this year? We were playing from behind quite a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
tell you, maybe the defense wasn't that good in the second half last year, but opposing offenses are doing the same thing we're doing this year, right? They're just kind of let's play the clock here.
Well, yeah, but exactly to that point, they had the worst problems in the second quarter of how they were scoring the most, how other teams were doing all this last year. They get up, okay, then the defense turns it on in the second half because the other team's already up. We're just trying to catch up and get back in the game. So it really is. The clock is you only get 60 minutes. That's half of your battle you're thinking about the whole time. You can really lose a game just by mismanaging it. So I'm not mad at it. And obviously, if you're up 3 touchdowns, if we go up 3 touchdowns and we run 0 man and somebody gets beat over the top, I mean, Twitter will just fall apart, right? Like,
oh my God,
it will just come down the entire, and we'll still be up 2 touchdowns. But the fact that happened in that moment, and so I think that's where it's like, dude, you just got to be happy with it. We're just going to bend all the way to the 1. And if we hold them to a field goal, that was a great drive on the defense, right?
Yep.
And then hopefully eventually those turnovers start happening, gets colder, ball gets slicker, you're up north, whatever happens. I think that you got to play the long game here. You can't be hitting hole in one on the first hole and then expected to hit a hole in one the rest of the course there. It's not going to happen.
And this defense responds too, right? We saw that after the Jordan Love pick, right? They responded 3 and out, get the ball back. You're not getting splash plays and a bunch of takeaways, but if you're going out there and making them punt, giving that ball back to your offense, that's a good sign, right?
Yep.
I don't mean to laugh, Tim, but I just caught a comment here. My God. 2-0 for this. We're going to start calling Stenovich Stenonym. Is that how you say it?
Eminem.
Stenonym. That would be it, right? So we need another Photoshop. We got to put Adam Stenovich's big offensive lineman body with Eminem's head on it. Right?
And let them argue over who's the real Slim Shady.
Exactly.
There you go.
Nothing slim about boy Stenovich. I'm just telling you. Joe Pack says, I want to see a defensive performance so dominant. Hafley walks in, says, check the box score, drops a mic, and walks out. Those are them deuces. Walks out like this right here, boys. You know what I'm saying? Goes. That's the way it needs to happen. I love Haf. I love LaFleur. I put an article together. If we have time, we'll hit it. We may hit it tomorrow. I might do a midday show. Just like Matt LaFleur's resume is unbelievable. You understand he's been coaching, and I don't want to get too deep into it because we'll talk about it later. Matt LaFleur has been coaching since 2003. So 22 years coaching, and he has never been demoted. The closest thing he's seen to a demotion was the coaching staff got fired in Washington, and he went from being quarterbacks coach in Washington with the then Redskins back to Notre Dame quarterback coach there, right? So it wasn't really a demotion. It's that coaching staff got scrapped, and someone else picked him up. He decided to go back to the college game. And then, of course, he came back to Atlanta, quarterbacks coach there. We'll talk about all the MVP ties. He's basically got let me see what it is here, 2 different quarterbacks that he was either the offensive coordinator or the quarterbacks coach that won MVPs, Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan. He also has under his belt an offensive rookie of the year in Robert Griffin. He was the quarterbacks coach for him. Right. And then when he went that 1 year to the LA Rams, Jared Goff had a phenomenal year, made the Pro Bowl. They went from a 4-win team to like a 12-win team or 11-win team. Right. So everywhere he's went, they've had success. Probably shouldn't say this. The fans that are calling for Matt LaFleur's job, I'm just petty enough that I almost want it to happen just so they can see what you get. Because I'm telling you, the second that the Packers would fire Matt LaFleur, he's got a head coaching job like that.
No.
He's 13th all-time in winning percentage. Guys, if he wins this Sunday, guess who he's going to pass in winning percentage? Next on the list, Paul Brown. You guys know who Paul Brown is. If you don't, Paul Brown was arguably the greatest pioneer in the game of professional football.
They don't name stadiums after you if you didn't do anything.
So they actually named the team after him. Like the Browns, you know why they're called the Browns? It's because they were Paul Brown's team. He was their coach. You know how they used to remember back in the 90s, Tim, we were growing up watching football, how they would have the still images on the sideline. They're going through the pictures. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. You know who started that? Paul Brown. Paul Brown.
Yeah, he bribed a kid to run up and down from the press box down to the field.
That's right.
He had him basically had a photographer at the top of the stadium taking pictures, taking Polaroids, and then they paid a kid to run the pictures down to Paul Brown on the sideline so they could see the above, like the all 22 basically is the first version of that. Then later on, they installed a cable where they could slide the pictures up and down, right? Like they could slide them down to the sideline. They did that. Also, his quarterback kept getting his face destroyed in this one game. They kept punching his quarterback and like breaking it. It broke his nose. I think it knocked some teeth out. So he's the one who created the face mask, right? And what he did was he had them come up with this composite material that was strong enough it wouldn't break. It's about the size of your pinky. That way, if someone came in and tried to punch his quarterback, they were going to break their hands. What was going to happen, right?
How about these hands?
I don't know if he.
Sorry, you said pinky. It got me thinking about The Rock. Sorry.
I don't know if his family still owns the patent, but for the longest time, Paul Brown owned the patent on the face mask for a football helmet. That's who that is. And then when they let him go, believe it or not, it was Art Modell came in, bought the team, and he ran Paul Brown out of town. Paul Brown immediately got a head coaching job with the Cincinnati Bengals and went on to do great things there. So I say all that because Matt LaFleur, if he wins this Sunday, he passes Hall of Fame coach Paul Brown in winning percentage. Paul Brown's sitting at 672. Next on the list after that is the great Don Shula, the only coach to have an undefeated team. So,
Is that good?
Yeah. Mrs. Green says, I love that Clayton called Tim out specifically about watching football in the 90s like Emilio wasn't even alive. Hashtag no chance. Emilio, what year were you born, bro?
95.
Oh, screw yourself, dude.
Wow.
Jacob was born in, what was it, 76, Jacob?
87. Come on now.
All right.
Come
So
on.
anyway,
Me on blast. I'm clearly the oldest one in the room here. Oh.
Bro, Emilio, you were born. So you weren't even born when Ace Ventura came out.
No, that's a great movie, though. I know most of
Sight.
the lines.
Oh, good.
Hey,
listen, in the
okay,
top,
he can still appreciate the classics.
Yeah, at least I've seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Clayton.
Oh,
I
burn!
love that one.
whoa,
Shots fired.
shots fired. Listen, since we've already dove into this a little bit, let's just go ahead and hit this article real quick, okay? It'll be fast. It's not really an article; it's just a bunch of stats here, okay? So Matt LaFleur, I said, is an elite coach. I know many people disagree with that. All right, 13th all-time winning percentage. I wanted to hit this because look at the. You notice the plus signs here, guys? These plus signs down here. That means they're a Hall of Fame coach. In the top 41 coaches, Matt LaFleur has a higher winning percentage than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's Curly Lambeau. 8. No, yeah, 8. What are we up to? 9. 9 Hall of Fame head coaches have less of a winning percentage than Matt LaFleur. All it's going to take for Matt LaFleur is one Super Bowl ring, and he's a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer. That's what's going to end up happening. And we got fans that want to run him out of town. It's absolutely wild. So a couple other things. I've talked about it since 2003. You see, he's just done nothing but climb the ranks the entire time. We'll talk about what each of those stops had here. Most recently, Matt LaFleur's scoring rank by year. Points per play, Matt LaFleur starting in 2019, 12th, then jumped all the way to 1st, 11th, 16th, 7th, 8th, and 11th. He's always inside the top 10 with the exception of what? 3 seasons there, and 2 of which were just one ranking outside of the top 10 in terms of points per play. Yards per play, so overall offense, right? Yardage gain. Starting in 2019, 15th, 2nd, 8th, 11th, 5th, and 8th. Keep in mind, too, the 5th, and 8th there, that, and obviously he's ranked 8th right now this year, our offense is. That's with another quarterback, guys. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
You literally promoted another quarterback to be your starter, and the results were 5th best offense, and now your 8th best offense this year, which I think that's going to go up. He's going to finish in the top 5. Now, ties the top quarterbacks, right? Robert Griffin III. In 2012, he was your offensive rookie of the year. Matt LaFleur was the quarterback's coach for the Washington Redskins in 2012. The same year he tutored rookie quarterback Robert Griffin III. Under LaFleur's guidance, Griffin III won the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, becoming the first rookie quarterback in franchise history to do so and be selected for the Pro Bowl. Let's move it along. He goes to Atlanta with Kyle Shanahan, right? Matt Ryan. Matt LaFleur was the quarterback's coach for the Atlanta Falcons in 2016. The same year, quarterback Matt Ryan won the NFL MVP award. During that season, Ryan led the league with a 117.1 passer rating and was named AP NFL Most Valuable Player. Move it along to the LA Rams, 2017, Jared Goff, right? In 2017, Matt LaFleur served as the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Rams and worked closely with quarterback Jared Goff under coach Sean McVay. Under LaFleur's guidance, Goff experienced a significant improvement, and the Rams offense saw a dramatic turnaround. Jared Goff had 3,804 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions in 15 games with a passer rating of 100.5. He was selected to his first Pro Bowl that year, and they basically led the Rams the year before. They were 4-12. Matt LaFleur shows up, Goff takes off, and they win 11 games that year and make the playoffs, right? And then, of course, you fast forward to your time in Green Bay and 2019 to 2022 with Aaron Rodgers. During their time together with the Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur coached Aaron Rodgers to 2 NFL MVP awards in 20 and 21. The duo led the team to 3 consecutive 13-3 seasons, 2019 to 21. Rodgers winning the MVP trophy in the first 2 of those years. Like, how many stops does he got to have where there's success before you finally look up and go, okay, maybe it is Matt LaFleur. Maybe he's a good coach, right?
Got to stop at the 50-yard line holding up the Lombardi trophy. That's
it. That's the only thing that's left, right?
Yep.
And I could care less about the Coach of the Year award. Obviously, you win 13 games 3 years in a row and you can't get the Coach of the Year. There's just something wrong with that.
Yep.
Yeah. So final tally, while now climbing to 13th all-time in winning percentage as a head coach, Matt LaFleur also coached his quarterbacks to 3 MVP awards, 1 Rookie of the Year award, and multiple Pro Bowls. He now has Jordan Love ranked as a top 5 quarterback with 3rd best odds to win the NFL MVP in 2025. So, again, put some respect on that damn man's name. It's unbelievable, man.
Look at the gray in that beard, man. Look at that. Yeah. That's grizzled.
Yeah.
Veteran leadership right there. That's full Tupac LaFleur mode right there. Absolutely. I like going down memory lane, seeing those pictures from the Atlanta days and the aw shucks Matt days, as Jacob would say, right? The aw shucks Matt LaFleur days. Look at that right there with RG3. Look at before he had the eyebrow game on fleek, back in the day.
You can see it was coming. What's weird though is like everybody talks about Kevin O'Connell as this great quarterback whisperer, and don't get me wrong, he deserves a lot of those accolades. But I'd like to see did he make 3 MVPs? Did he make a Rookie of the Year? Did he? Guy that everybody claimed was maybe on the downward slide, possibly even washed, and win 13 games in 3 years each. To me, he has never been named Coach of the Year, correct?
That's correct.
Never even really been talked about on modern TV or national TV unless they're just absolutely dragging this man through the dirt. I will say he probably gets a lot more TV time than most coaches because they understand that there's a lot more ladies watching the NFL, and sometimes they like to see that eye candy on the sidelines. I get that. All right, I do. But I'm just saying, like to Clayton's point, you got to put a little bit of respect on that guy's name, man.
Jacob, does he have the best haircut in the NFL or what?
Ooh, I think so. Have you ever seen when he goes to the barber to get lined up?
Oh, he's whoever the barber is there, Tim. You need to get his number. I'm about to go up there next time, and I need a touch up.
We got to find out who that is. We might have to hit up Easton Butler.
I'm telling you,
there you go.
That is the news we need. Because I mean, for real, Matt's probably got the best hair out of the top 15 of all time, right? Clay, winning percentage, no problem.
2-0 for this says Brian Dayball's the eye candy. he ate plenty of eye candy, that's for sure. Huh? That triple chin going. Respect Oranges says Matt LaFleur looks like a prison guard, and he came back and said BTA Penitentiary. I love it, absolutely love it. We need to create a prison guard. We need to create a prison guard. What am I trying to say? Photoshop and just put BTA Penitentiary on it, man.
We got to do it. We got to grab a screen grab from Shawshank, right?
Yes. Yes. Exactly. All right. Anything else on Matt LaFleur, guy? I figure we just go ahead and knock that out since we talked about it already a little bit.
Yes, it's pronounced Tupac LaFleur. All eyes on me, Tupac LaFleur.
My apologies, sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, give you guys an update. It's not good news, but it is an update. The Dodgers are leading the Brewers 2-1 right now in the bottom of the 6th. It looks like the Dodgers got a couple ducks on the pond there. We got runners at the corners with 1 out. So Uribe Uribe on the mound. Looks like the number 6 hitter up. Let me give you a little baseball play-by-play here. You ready? Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Oh, that's gas. Straight butter, 96, right at the knees. All right, that's enough of that.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
All right, let's get into PFF preview. All right, let's start with the betting line. That good with you guys?
Yeesh.
All right, they're calling for obviously indoor, 75 degrees, clear sky. Do they have a roof they can open out there? Am I thinking right?
I'm pretty sure they do.
I think they do. Yeah, I think they got some kind of roof they can open. All right, so let's talk about the spread. The market is sitting at 6.5 points, gang. The PFF projection says it should be a little bit higher than that. I think this is the first week that PFF's projection is actually favoring the Packers more so than the spread is. So maybe, you've seen the Packers have not been able to cover the spread the last couple of games. 14 points, a lot of points there last week, right? So what you're seeing is PFF is saying it's more about a 7.3 point game as opposed to 6.5. Now, when it comes to the spread, 58% of the money is on the Packers to cover that spread with 57% of the tickets right now. Money line bet, just winning outright. 96% of the money is on the Packers. 94% is on the tickets. And let me tell you something, boys. Vegas has been kicking butt and taking names this year. So I always get nervous when there's that much of the public money on one team. But the Packers are favorites once again going into this game. I want to get your all's take on that. Plus the over-under set at 44.5. I don't care who goes first. We'll start with you, Jacob. What do you think? You think 6.5 points is about right? You think it's too much? How do you feel about it, man?
I think that would shift. I don't want to say considerably, but once there's an actual designation as to whether or not it's going to be Murray or Brissett, I know we'll look ahead at the quarterback comparison coming up here. I don't think Brissett is anything to really scoff at, but I don't know if he's the type of player that's going to come in and really give him a best shot. I think that's a fair spread. Like you said, I did not enjoy the 14 plus at sometimes spread last week. That's to me. But again, that money line scares me. Again, would you say 94% is on the Packers?
Yeah, the money line actually 96% of the money.
96%. Anytime that there's just the mass majority or just, it's a shoo-in, Packers got it, no problem. That just makes me pause and get a little nervous. But I don't know. What do you think, Tim?
I'm not the sports betting guy, but definitely think that 6 points, a tutter, right? We just beat the Bengals by a little more than a tutter. So I'll take it, considering the injuries that we have. I think it'll be a closer than comfortable game, closer than a lot of us would like to believe. On paper, we should boat race the Cardinals, but, history proves otherwise. So I think it'll be a close game, but Packers get the dub.
Yeah, Respect Oranges here. Emilio says they're chasing toddlers in practice to get ready for Kyler Murray, just in case he starts. What do you think about this point spread, man?
It's one way to do it. This spread's not terrible. I almost feel like we might be under the 44.5 more than the spread. I feel like, maybe we'll probably put up 24 and the defense keep them under 14, hopefully, something like that, get a couple turnovers here and there. I'd love it. I want to see the team keep putting up 30. But it's 27 is kind of our magic number. So even if we're there, you still get them at 17. We're still kind of under it there. So I think like Tim said, it might be a little bit closer than we sort of thought, and maybe under 44.5.
Yeah, and when you look at it there, it looks like the public agrees with you, Emilio. Well, partially agrees. 54% of the money is on the under. 53% of the bets are on the over. So it's kind of split there. Basically, I always lean towards the money than the tickets, right? The money is at 54% under, so the public definitely agrees with you. Now, that's a lot closer to 50-50. Obviously, you feel a little bit better about that under bet than you would say, the Packers there. So, all right, moving along.
Real quick, Jack. Joe NC says, well, we are undefeated at home, and from what I heard, there's a lot of tickets still open, meaning in Arizona. If you guys remember in years past, that is one of the best traveling fan bases just because we got a lot of snowbirds that head down in that Arizona part. And I remember certain games where you walked in there. I shouldn't say walked in there. When you looked at the fan, when they pan out and you're like, holy crap, this is like 70% Packer fans in here. You'll get that maybe back in the day in certain Florida teams like Tampa Bay. I remember surprisingly at Nashville at the Titan Stadium, whenever they played, there was a lot of Packer fans there.
We took that one over.
Certain pockets of the country where the Packer fans will travel, and they will travel in large numbers. So I hope that's true, Joe. That's a good point.
Great opportunity for this team to get their first win on the road this year. Yeah. Absolutely.
And this kind of goes hand in hand with Jerry's question earlier. She was asking, who have the Cardinals faced here lately? They were at the Colts last week. They lost 31-27. They gave the Colts a hell of a game there, boys.
Yeah.
game, and that was without Kyler Murray, right? You had the Titans at home. They lost to the Titans. That's an ugly loss, obviously, 22-21. That was the game where the guy dropped the ball, right? The running back.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. And then you had the game before that. They lost to the Seattle Seahawks, another good team, 23-20. They lost to the 49ers, who's one of the best teams in the league right now, 16-15. So they played some close games. Looking at these scores, yeah, I would – if it wasn't the Packers, you guys know I don't gamble on Packers games. If it wasn't the Packers, I'd probably be taking the 6.5, plus 6.5. So round up.
4 losses by a total of 9 points. You got 1, 3, 1, and 4. I mean, that's a crazy schedule. They are that close to being 6-0 or 4-2. You know.
Yep.
And they beat some bad teams. Don't get me wrong, right? Like they lost pretty handily to the Broncos, one of the better teams in the AFC. They lost to them 27-7.
Preseason.
But was that preseason? You're right.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah. So the only two. So I'm sorry. The only
New
two
Orleans
wins,
and Carolina were kind of, you know,
they're both trash teams right now too, ain't they? So yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Emilio. I don't know why they include the preseason. It doesn't matter. Why would you even put that in? Ain't nobody gambling on that stuff other than degenerates that can't pay their bills. So yeah, Saints and the Panthers. That makes you feel a lot better about that, right? All the good teams they faced, along with the bad team, the Titans, they've lost 4 in a row there. So. Going to be interesting, man. Going to be very interesting. So let's talk about the quarterback matchup real quick. All right. So they've got Brissett listed. Listen, he's grading out a 76 this year. Pretty darn good. Passer rating when clean, a 113.1. Under pressure, a 46.8. He's got a big time throw percentage of only 1.96. He is the 31st ranked quarterback in terms of power rating rate, rank, where they gave him a 0.0 power rating. You guys know PFF does that. Now, if we jump over to the Jordan Love side, 83.0 PFF grade, passer rating when clean, 137.8, struggled under pressure, passer rating under pressure of 41.1. Look at that big time throw percentage at 6.04%. That might be
league money, baby. Let's go.
And then when you look at the turnover worthy plays, J Love is at 2.75%. Brissett is at 0. So he protects the football, obviously, right? Something to keep in mind there. Jordan Love's power rating is a 4.5. That's 7th best in the league. What do y'all think about the quarterback matchup? Brissett, I kind of feel like Brissett gives him a better chance to win the way he's playing ball than Kyler Murray, man. Weird to say that out loud, but
that could be. I mean, he's been a journeyman, but been kind of reliable any place that he's been. When we first saw that schematic there, I thought Brissett at 76. It's not bad. And, I mean, all they want him to do probably is to come in there and just kind of manage the game, control it. Don't ask him to do too much. But I hate saying it's a trap game or anything like that because I feel like every game this year is, quote unquote, a trap game. But he definitely has the ability to be an NFL quarterback. And if he comes out and he's firing at all cylinders, we have to be ready to play our game. And to Tim's point, I need us to come out and play a total away game and just not. And again, it's on the West Coast. We have a little bit of similarities and some tendencies that we need to break through. Let's go, LaFleur. Let's get these guys coming out with the piss hot.
Yeah, absolutely. Turnovers. Let's get some takeaways in this game because I think to your point, you can't overlook a guy like Jacoby Brissett. However, I do think that that's all Arizona wants him to do. To your point, Jacob, is just manage the game and don't turn the ball over. So I'd let the dogs eat in this one and make Brissett really beat you, like really test that arm. I'd be a little bit more aggressive, we'll say, with this guy under the helm.
Dude, you know how I'm a child? Because every time you guys say Brissett, I just see Homer Simpson go, brisket. I don't know why.
Unbelievable. So somebody had asked, has he only played one game, talking about Brissett, right? And it looks like he had 1 snap in week 2 against Carolina, 3 snaps in week 5 against Tennessee, and then took all 73 snaps in Indy there in week 6. So 1 game is essentially what we're looking at, right? When you look at the PFF grades throughout his career, 51, 62, 57, 59. It's all cheeks, right? Then it jumps 73, 76, 82, 84, 59, and now back up to a 76. So he's one of those quarterbacks, Emilio. He can hurt you, man. He can hurt you if he gets hot.
Absolutely. And he kind of wants to push the ball down the field. I think Arizona wants to do that in general. But him being able to, get it there, He's got different passing lanes than Kyler, right? You got a height advantage over him, so you've got different throwing lanes, throwing angles, all those things. I think that it'll be a good test for us. A mildly mobile guy, but also more of a veteran, kind of heady guy. Seen a lot. How many defenses has he seen? We got to kind of disguise some of this, come out in a shell, all that stuff. So it'll be a good test for the defense. And like X was saying in his interview, is they need to, the coaches can tell us, some stuff and get us a little bit hyped, but us as players need to take care of this and come out ready to play. Like, we need to set the tone. We need to prep and come out in this game ready to roll, because they're not going to be able to do it everywhere. And we potentially could have, on the road games in the playoffs if we get there. So it's something that we need to be ready for. We cannot go 0-6 on the road. So we at some point need to turn it around. You might as well make it this week.
Yep. Yeah. When you look at, go ahead, Tim, you got something, buddy?
No, I was just agreeing with that.
Guys, when you look at the rankings, the Packers are ranked second in power ranking according to PFF. The Cardinals are 28th. Power ranking for defense, the Packers are 14th. The Cardinals are 17th. Power ranking on offense, Packers are 4th. The Cardinals are 13th. Strength of schedule played, the Cardinals have played the easiest schedule, if I'm reading that correctly, right? 32nd strength of schedule. So they have played the easiest schedule so far of everybody in the league, and they still only won 2 games. Yeah. Strength of schedule played for the Packers are sitting in the 20th spot, right? Average offensive snaps, they both average 67 offensive snaps per game. The Packers are running the ball more often than the Cardinals. The Packers are running at 44% of the time. The Cardinals are only at 33% of the time, okay? But that's probably because they're trailing. The EPA per run, the Cardinals are actually, the Packers are slightly better, right, at a minus 0.07. The Cardinals are at a minus 0.13. And then the EPA per pass, that's not even close. Cardinals are at a positive 0.10. The Packers are at a positive 0.30. So really what you look at here, the Packers have the advantage all the way up that entire column of statistics, Tim. Again, any given Sunday, we're going to say it every time, but it looks like the Packers, they definitely have the edge here in every statistical category. What I see happening here, Tim, and it's going to piss people off again, I see it being a 1-2 score game that we control most, if not all, the game. And you're not going to go out there and beat them by 14, 20 points, right? It's just going to be one of those. Maybe you win by 5 points. Maybe you win by 9 points type thing. That's probably the most likely scenario. Although, man, you can't overlook this team.
No, you can't. And like I said, we need to get some turnovers in this game. I think even one takeaway could tilt the balance in a game like this. I agree with you, Clayton. It'll probably be a little closer than a lot of us Packer fans would like it to be. But at the end of the day, like I've said before, you don't get extra credit for blowing a team out. A win is a win is a win, and that's the goal right here. Get your first win on the road for the season, and keep that positive momentum rolling forward. So I do think it is going to come down to our defense, though. Our defense is going to have to not shoot ourselves in the foot and get at least one takeaway in this game. What's it going to be? Evan Williams pick? What do you think? Strip sack from Micah Parsons? Something. We're going to get a takeaway in this game.
I like the strip sack. I like that. That'd be nice to see. I think that, you hopefully the secondary is ready, obviously, but if you can force Brissett to put it, in a bad spot, that's all we're looking for. We just need a couple opportunities, man.
Pack Daddy checking in. If we don't blow them out, I'm done with this team.
I love it, man. Listen, if you guys are not listening to Packernet podcast right now, you are missing out. I'm just telling you right now, man. It's keeping me sane listening to some of the other sports podcasts. So, I appreciate you swinging through, Ryan. It's just you need this. You need other people that you can look up and go, oh, I'm not crazy. Okay, there are other logical fans that are looking at this, like we don't need to fire the whole coaching staff. And it just – I don't understand why people choose to be miserable. You know what? I don't like keeping up with baseball anymore. You know what I mean? But we're forced right now to listen to Brewers talk. If you listen to any kind of Green Bay podcast, it kind of sneaks in, right? I'll say this, man. It's just as bad with the Brewers. the same people that were, boy, I'm telling you, going into that last series, they were all fired up. And these are radio show hosts. These aren't fans. I'm not talking about just random fans. I'm talking about they're fans, but they got, sports talk shows. Boy, they turned on that team quick, Tim. I mean, it was unbelievable. Like you went from this is the hottest team in baseball, we can win the whole thing, to all of a sudden everybody's a bum. I won't say the name, but one particular person was calling for Murph's job earlier in the year, and he ended up having the best record in baseball. Like, what do you expect as a fan for your football team or your baseball team to do? Like, you're honestly, you're expecting unrealistic. Your team just had the best record in 162 games, and you're wanting to fire people? I don't get it, man. I don't understand.
Yeah,
just don't get it. So, anyway, end of rant. I was wanting to look at some of the rankings real quick. We had a couple more minutes here. This thing's going to throw up more advertisement than Jacob in the parking lot at the club. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to see what we can do here. I want to see where they rank offensively. This is points per play. Arizona is 20th in the league in points per play. So in offensive, scoring, they are 20th in the league. And then when we go to scoring defense, opponent points per play, Arizona, and keep in mind, guys, they played a weak schedule, arguably the weakest schedule in the league. Arizona's scoring defense, where are they at? I think they're toward the top a little bit. So they're 7th in scoring defense. So they're definitely a defensive strong team, Emilio, right?
Yeah.
So, thanks, Ryan, for getting us derailed there. But no, it's all good. So obviously it's one of those games where if their defense can keep them in it, you know what this kind of spells out for me, Emilio? Protect the football. Take what the defense gives you.
Mm-hmm.
Settle for the field goal. Don't get too aggressive, right? Because their offense should struggle, and their defense is the strength of their team, albeit they played the easiest schedule so far this year. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, defense can hold you in it as long as possible, but that's why they're passing it 60+% of the time. They're not able to run it as much, so everything sort of starts falling, snowballing downhill. The defense itself is decent. They got a couple of guys out there. DTD, just kind of want to see him play. You got Max out there. Some of these guys aren't playing their best ball right now, but they can play. And the defense has kept them in games with multiple teams here in the past 4 weeks. San Fran, all those games are close. So it's not like they're not a bunch of scrubs. Even Cleveland, who was, the worst defense ever, is still the best defense basically in the league. And we lost to them, right? So it's going to be a test for our offense, and it'll be a test for our defense to see if they can't help the offense out. So it's really going to be a good game. I think it'll be a nice test. It's away at least, and it's something that you can get rolling because you got another big game coming up right after this, another away game back to back on the road. You need to get your mentality right and prepare and be ready for this.
Yeah, and it looks like they're in the middle of the pack here, Tim, when it comes to running defense. They're 16th in the league at 4.2 yards per carry. So you should be able to continue with Josh Jacobs, meaning, if you come out and you play a team like Cleveland like we did, and you can get nothing going against the running game, or against the run defense, which they have the best rush defense in the league. Packers are sitting 4th currently. It throws a wrench into that whole, hey, let's stay patient. You should be able to stay patient against Arizona, unless they load the box. And if they do, Tim, I'm not opposed to firing that thing over the top, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Feed Josh Jacobs the rock in this game, for sure. I mean, this isn't Cincinnati's defense or anything, but I fully expect a guy like Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson for that matter as well, to have some success on the ground. I'm sure we'll see some duo again. I don't know if we're going to stay in between the tackles or maybe run some outside stuff, but you got to have a run game against any kind of defense really in the league. But Arizona's no pushover, like Emilio said, and you're not going to get it done if you don't have some semblance of a ground game. And I'll take another 90 or 100-yard, 1 or 2 touchdown performance from Josh Jacobs again. That should be enough to help us out. But bottom line, it's going to come down to our defense keeping us in this ball game and handing that ball back to Jay Money and the offense all day long. It's closer than we thought, but I think the running game is going to be a point of emphasis once again. And then you eat off of that, right? You get those crossers and you get those shot plays to Matthew Golden, and we get the win. That's all that matters.
And tomorrow I'll start to put together the game plan. So I'll give you guys tendencies, right? And what they do well, what they do not so well. This is just kind of a global look at the Cardinals. Emilio, they've got the 9th best passing defense in terms of yards per pass attempt at 6.2. So this definitely, it seems like you want to press into the run out of 11. Did you guys notice on Chalk Talk, we did not call out any 12 personnel? Did y'all notice that?
Mm-hmm.
All the play, I just hit me earlier today. I was mowing grass and I was like, every one of our plays on Chalk Talk came out of 11 personnel, especially the run, right? We kept running that 22 duo out of 11 nasty, Dubs nasty 11. So that's what I think you got to do here, Emilio. You got to stay in 11, run the rock between the tackles, and just establish that run early. Take what they give you. Don't get me wrong in the passing game, but you got to get the running game going, man.
Right, yeah, because in Arizona's improved from last year. They were 6.8 last year down to 6.2. They're reeling that in. Home is obviously a little bit worse for them than away, but also again they've played a couple tight games, with a couple of tough teams. So you're right. Something that we need to get going. Really, the only other time, I know we were in 12. The only other one I remember was 13 when we had everybody in there and they ran that Savion jet sweep or whatever it was, touch pass, and that was it, man. But I do like that Matt's kind of getting back to the 11. Maybe it's just because of personnel we have that are healthy now, right? Or maybe that you have trust in a little bit more. And that's something that maybe they thought they could beat them with. Is that something that we can beat Arizona with? I hope so, because I did like how all that kind of played out for us. It's it really is going to be something, though. Matt's got to call a good game, and so does Half.
Yeah. And last thing to hit on here before we wrap up, notice that Green Bay is in the lead at 5.1 yards per pass attempt allowed. So they've got the number one passing defense in terms of yardage and per pass attempt in the league. That last game, there were people on Twitter talking like Joe Flacco just cut us up. Guys, they averaged 4.7 yards per pass attempt. That was it. If you were to take that and just put it into the overall ranking system, that would hands down be the best passing defense in the league right now. Again, Packers are sitting at 5.1. That last game against the Cincinnati Bengals, the Packers only gave up 4.7 yards per pass attempt. That's why you go on some call-in shows, the post-game shows, and you listen, and people are acting like the defense just got picked apart. And then you came on our post-game show, and we were going, what the hell? What are we talking about? Like, the defense played good. Like you played the game that was in front of you in the second half. You played to win the game. Right?
We got to get that Herm Edwards drop for sure.
All those drops. Man, there was from 2000 to 2010, Tim, I think it was, probably maybe 2015. God, there were so many good drops, man.
Oh yeah.
Denny Green, the Bears are who we thought they were. Oh my God, there's so many good ones. So we'll get them. It's exhausting. All right. Anything else, boys? Anything else y'all got? Emilio, I'm going to give you the floor here, sir.
Nothing. If you want to see Flacco, go watch him right now. If you want to see A-Rod, go watch him right now. Besides that, and they got to prepare well in the week coming up. I hope that practices go well. Micah was saying that this is probably their best 2-minute and what was it, end of game situation, I think it was, that they've had practice-wise probably all season. So I love that. If you're practicing like you play, that's a good sign for this week. But yeah, let's kind of get them going. You're going to have a different D-line out there. LVN's not going to get as many reps. Is it going to be Enikbare? Is it going to be Sorrell, more Brinson? And we just need to get some pressure, collapse the pocket, whatever we need to do to sort of get this thing going for the defense. And then, like Tim's been hounding on, we need turnovers.
Tim, since he hit it, Tim, he already brung it up. Let's give a little update here. You ready for this? We got the Steelers at the Bengals. Is that at the Bengals? That is at the Bengals, right? I believe that's in Cincy. Yeah. All right. So the Steelers lead 7-0 in the first quarter. 9 minutes left. Aaron Rodgers is 3 of 5 for 53 yards and a tutter. Joe Flacco 1 for 1 with 18 yards. I think they've got the ball right now. The Bengals are driving. They're at their own roughly 40-yard line. Aaron Rodgers continued to hit DK Metcalf, 1 catch for 39 yards. Also hit Jonnu Smith, the guy they traded for from Miami, if I remember correctly. Yep. 1 catch for 10 yards, and that was a touchdown catch.
That was a scramble play. That was a big scramble play. He kind of dropped back, nothing there, rolled to his left, nothing there, rolled all the way back to the right, hit the man. So,
Tim, this is a good game to go check out as we sign off right now because we're going to be playing the Steelers here in a couple weeks, right?
Yep, absolutely. And contrary to popular belief, Aaron Rodgers is not washed, as you can see, based on his performance so far in this one and all year. So, Steelers look legit.
Yeah, and if you want an all 22 look, go ahead and watch it on Prime, but hit the next gen stats version. You go down on it, hit the next gen stats Prime version, because you're literally sitting in the Madden cam, all 22 cam. Right there, I just watched Joe Flacco. It was a slot fade on the right side, but you had like a quick swing or a drag with Jamar Chase coming across on the left, and he threw the slot fade. Jamar Chase was wide open. I mean, dude fell down, and it's just like you're screaming at yourself. But it's just cool to see, in live football.
Respect Orange. It says this music makes me feel like I'm sneaking to the fridge at midnight.
Absolutely. Wood's creaking.
Looking like one of these guys trying to grab a snack.
That's right. I got to say, Sean Ryan got some bigger shoulders than Nacho Libre, though, don't he? He got a little more trap on him there, right? Yeah. All right, that's it, guys. This show sucks. We're out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. We'll start to dive into the game plan. If I have time, we'll jump into that. So I'm excited about continuing that conversation. Tim, tell these fine men and women in here tonight about this awesome cause we're raising awareness for, man.
Yeah, it's our raffle alert for a great cause. All month long, we are giving you a chance to win an autographed Romeo Doubs jersey just by going to operationhorsesheal.org. /how can I help. That will give you the link right there so you can donate. Any dollar amount helps. Obviously, Operation Horses Heal is doing great things for our veterans and their families, as well as active duty military servicemen and women as well, giving them a chance for some life-changing experiences, self-guided wellness journey with equine therapy. And we're trying to raise funds, get them to their goal, to get a truck and a trailer so that they can bring these horses out to, events for these veterans. So if you want to help, we would appreciate any of your donations, any dollar amount. Each donation gives you an entry to win that Romeo Doubs jersey coming up here at the end of October. So you can scan that QR code in the upper right, or you can go to operationhorsesheal.org /how can I help to donate.
Yeah, or you could just go to my Twitter account at Packers_access, the tweet that's pinned at the top of the page. You'll see I quote tweeted Tim. Click on his tweet. You'll have a link right there at your convenience as well. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer, what have you. So, boys, I appreciate you. Sorry we went over a little bit, but thank y'all so much for hanging out tonight, man. This was fun.
Love it, man. Thanks for having us.
All right, bud. We'll see y'all tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. We'll dive into the game plan, give you a detailed look at all of the PFF grades for each player, how our 11 personnel lines up against their nickel, how their base lines up against our base, their 21 against our base, and what have you. And then we'll start to dive into some of the Tuesday players, all that good stuff as well. Everybody have a great night. Go Brewers. We'll see y'all tomorrow. God bless.
Here we go.
Bye, guys.